Hello and welcome back to Awful Commentary. Today we are back on Captain America Civil War. More specifically, we are looking at Team Cap Fallout 4 builds. So last time we built Team Iron Man, we showed you just how you could make War Machine, Black Widow, Black Panther, and Iron Man himself. Today we're going to show you how to make the Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Falcon, and of course, Captain America. So, as it's his movie, really there's only one person to start with, and that is Steve Rogers. Now, as a super soldier, you might be thinking, Captain America must be really easy to play as in Fallout 4, but you would be wrong. If we're being completely honest, he's actually one of the most difficult characters to make, and that has a lot to do with the fact that he is just so good. Captain America represents human, physical, and moral perfection, and that's really difficult to replicate in this game. So instead, we've just had to try and play it as close to the specials as we can, whilst also trying to replicate the character. This is also one that is going to be really mod heavy. Other than reskinned armor and improved jump packs, we managed to avoid mods quite nicely with Team Iron Man. But with this character, it's next to impossible. Captain America's signature weapon is his vibranium shield, and if you've played Fallout 4 then you know that there aren't any shields in the game. Luckily for you, there is a patriotic shield mod on the Nexus that perfectly replicates Captain America's weapon. As well as that, the Nexus also has the Captain America suit, reskinned combat armor, and also a Captain America face, should you want to start with it. It's worth noting now that the patriotic shield mod works off of the Iron Fist perk and also can be upgraded using Blacksmith. So with those two things in mind, we've given him a strength of 4. This may seem a little low considering that Steve Rogers is literally human perfection, and I can understand that. But considering that at the start of the game the enemies are weaker and we're not investing in any kind of heavy guns, we can't really afford to put strength any higher. Most importantly, Captain America's charisma starts at 6. This gives us instant access to the local leader perk, which is really important for Captain America. This is a soldier who led men into war, and because of that we want to be working towards the charisma 8 perk, Inspirational. If there's any disservice that I think we're doing to Captain America here, it's putting his intelligence at 1. Steve Rogers isn't a scientist in the same way as Tony Stark, but he's also not an idiot. Unfortunately, as he comes from the 1940s, robotics and hacking isn't something that he's going to be able to do. And so to counter the fact that he'll be leveling up slowly, we've gone for a luck of 5 to go for Idiot Savant. While the name of the perk definitely doesn't suit Captain America, the boosts do. And building up those criticals faster isn't going to hurt VATs either.
So Dominic's done a grand job explaining our Captain America build to you and explaining why we've chosen to put his special stats as we have. And now I'm here to go over the perks. Now I'll cover each of the characters for this team, tell you their 5 main perks, some additional perks that you should choose for them, and how to use the special book in Sanctuary. And also, as I said in my last video, I recommend that you stay in Sanctuary for at least 5 levels to make sure that your character is prepared for the Commonwealth. So let's take a look at Captain America's 5 main perks. We have Local Leader, Inspirational, Chem Resistant, Iron Fist, and Blacksmith. Now Dom already explained why we're going for Iron Fist and Blacksmith, which is because of our Patriotic Shield mod to do more damage and so that we can upgrade it later. And we've gone Chem Resistant to represent the super soldier serum that was injected into Steve Rogers. Now the additional perks you're going to want to take are Idiot Savant, Demolition Expert, and Action Boy. Now we're going for Demolition Expert to give you some variation in combat because we know that his strength isn't as high as it could be. And because we're working towards that inspirational perk, we need to make sure we use the special book in Sanctuary to add 1 point to our charisma. Then we're also going to need to use 1 more perk to boost our charisma to get to level 8.
Next up we have Clint Barton's Hawkeye. Hawkeye faces a similar problem to Captain America here in that there are no bows and arrows in the game. So what we've done instead is gone for a sniper rifle. As you can see from his special stats, we're not holding back on this character build. We're investing straight away in 10 perception and in 10 luck. But you might be thinking, 10 perception? The bobblehead is really early on in the game. And that's because we want to push that perception up to 11. Perception affects your weapon accuracy in VATs, and as Hawkeye is the most accurate person on the planet, you want to be representing that. Luck affects how quickly you recharge your critical hits, so with Hawkeye you're going to be hitting more accurately and with more critical hits than you did before.
To recreate the pinpoint accuracy that you've just seen there for Hawkeye, the 5 main perks you're going to want are Rifleman, Sniper, Concentrated Fire, Grim Reaper's Spirit, and Critical Banker. Now we've gone for Grim Reaper's Spirit here because that refills your action points, and at the start of the game, Hawkeye doesn't have many action points due to his low agility. For the additional perks, we're going to be taking advantage of his high luck and going for 4-leaf clover and also using Penetrator. And a key part of this as well is going to be upgrading that agility special. This is also going to apply for the special book in Sanctuary, where we're going to add 1 point to agility.
Next up, Antman. This is when things start to get really complicated, because Antman can shrink down to the size of an ant. Or he can grow so big he becomes Giant Man, and in Fallout 4 you could do neither of those things. Instead, we've gone for a kind of hybrid Hank Pym, Scott Lang Ant-Man who just wakes up in the Commonwealth. As such, he's got a strength of 3 to make sure that he can build something to keep himself safe. His perception is at 3, plus the bobblehead to 4 gives you locksmith because Scott Lang is a renowned thief. His endurance is at 1, considering they're both just normal guys, and at that nerdy scientists, they could probably just get punched in the face. Perhaps most interestingly, we put his charisma at 5 for Animal Friend. That's because Ant-Man has the ability to communicate with ants. While ants are a little bit hard to come by in the Commonwealth, animals are everywhere, and so as such we've kind of replicated that ability through Animal Friend. With charisma sat right in the middle, it also allows you to work towards Wasteland Whisperer, which would upgrade that ability to working on things such as Death Claws. Combining this with his intelligence of 10, you can really see how Ant-Man should be played. This is not a character with which you can go in all guns blazing. This is somebody where you'll have to use the environment and your companions to your advantage. For weapons, you're probably going to be looking at laser pistols, and as such, that Nerd Rage perk is going to come into effect more than you would like. And for roleplay purposes, we've got a luck of 5. This is especially for Scott Lang's Ant-Man, because although he's kind of a scientific genius, he's also an idiot. With Idiot Savant starting to pay benefits again at level 10, this is a character with which you are going to be leveling up fast.
So you saw the action side of our nerd-raging, laser pistol-wielding Ant-Man, which is using the 5 main perks of Robotics Expert, Science, Gunslinger, Nerd Rage, and Animal Friend. This is joined by additional perks such as Hacker, Locksmith, and Armourer. And when we're in Sanctuary, we're going to use the special book to further boost his charisma, working towards that Wasteland Whisperer perk.
Next up, just to prove how impossible Team Cap is to make it Fallout 4, we have Sam Wilson, the Falcon. As with Ant-Man, there is no way that you can fly in Fallout 4 other than using the vertibirds as a form of transport or by using the jump pack power armor. But Falcon isn't Iron Man, Falcon isn't War Machine, there are no kind of wings, so you cannot fly. Instead, we tried to replicate Falcon's ability to fly by giving him a massive boost to agility. In fact, Falcon is the most agile member of the Avengers that we've made so far, and that's for gameplay reasons as well. Sam Wilson is more than man with wings, he's also a soldier, and considering that he favours semi-automatic weapons, agility is a really great thing to be invested in. You might not be able to fly, but with Gun Fu, Quick Hands, and Moving Target, you may as well be. In some incarnations of the Falcon, he can talk to falcons, and in some incarnations he has a robotic falcon that follows him. So in a similar way to Ant-Man, we've given him a charisma of 5 so you can have the Animal Friend perk. It's also worth noting that in the comics, Captain America has said several times that Falcon will be the leader that Captain America is one day, he just hasn't got the confidence yet. Due to this, it's really worth investing in his charisma so you can get the local leader and later the inspirational perk. Considering as well that he's supposed to have the eyes of a hawk, awareness is a must. And eventually you want to be working down the perception tree because concentrated fire will be a massive boost with those semi-automatic weapons.
So with Falcon, we're running and gunning and exploding our way through the Commonwealth, and as such, our 5 main perks are Gun Fu, Quick Hands, Commando, Local Leader, and Animal Friend. To accompany this whilst you're leveling up, we recommend going with Demolition Expert, Hacker, and Armourer. And when you're in Sanctuary, we're going to use the special book to add 1 point to Charisma for, as Dominic said, to start following in the footsteps of Captain America.
And lastly we come to, well, Steve, you can do this one.
Thank you, Dominic. So Dominic has passed this one over to me for 2 reasons, really. One being that Bucky has become probably one of my favourite characters ever since the Winter Soldier movie. And 2, I've already played through Fallout using a Bucky Barnes style build, very similar to the one that you see here. Now, I know lots of people might think, oh, low intelligence and low luck, you're never going to level up. You're going to take ages. And when I played through my build, I actually went with 1 intelligence and 1 luck. And I still didn't find any real problems leveling up at all. I blitzed through the main quest and still had a lot of fun and got to a decent level. We've given him a strength of 4 because if anyone's seen the Winter Soldier movie, there's some pretty incredible fight scenes showing that Bucky is pretty much a good match for Captain America. And then we've gone for a charisma of 3 in this build to make sure that you can take the Lone Wanderer perk, because in his origins, Bucky is a lone assassin that goes around changing the course of history. So as that assassin, we've given him a perception of 8 and an agility of 6. In combat, we're going to be focusing on rifles, and as such, using the Rifleman perk. You're going to want to get a good scoped weapon as soon as you can to start picking your enemies off from range. And as you progress through the game, you're going to want to find the Overseer's Guardian, which is a unique combat rifle in the game, which has the legendary 2-shot modifier. It's located in Vault 81 and is pretty much one of the best rifles in the game. But if things get a little up close and personal, we recommend keeping a strong pistol for backup. But let's stay away from those automatic weapons. So Bucky's 5 main perks are Rifleman, Lone Wanderer, Sneak, Ninja and Penetrator, with some additional perks such as Sniper, Armorer and Quick Hands. And when you're in Sanctuary, you're going to want to grab the special book and add 1 point to Agility. I'm going to let Dominic wrap this up for you, and I'm going to go off and watch Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Final thoughts. As with the Vision in our last video, we really didn't want to get into Scarlet Witch. While you could potentially do a build of Scarlet Witch using energy weapons, it just doesn't sit right with the character. Wanda Maximoff would be much better suited in Skyrim than she would in Fallout. And with Doctor Strange on the way, she's not alone there. Would you like to see us do some Skyrim builds? Are there more Marvel characters you'd like to see in Fallout? Leave a comment below and let us know. Thank you for watching Awful Commentary, and we'll see you next time.